Hello, great people. There's fire on the mountain, but the timely intervention of the DSS operatives have saved Nigerians, particularly the people of Delta State and the Niger Delta region, from running, as a large cache of arms and ammunitions was recovered in Delta State when they were about to be transported to another location. The large cache of arms was allegedly owned by a notorious syndicate being led by a UK military officer that goes by the name Major Micah Polo. You may want to imagine that how did an officer of the military in the United Kingdom got involved in illegal arms and ammunitions ownership in Nigeria? I will be dissecting the issues for you, and I will be connecting Major Micah Polo to the Olu of Wari, to the government of Delta State that just decamped to the APC, and of course the presidency and the DSS. So what I can tell you is that if you are a Nigerian and you are concerned about the security situation in Nigeria, well, this is the video for you, because I will be exposing quite a lot of things for you. And if you are concerned about your own personal security and the security of your lives and property and that of your friends and family, well, this is the video for you to watch. Now, who is Major Micah Polo? And I believe you can see his picture on your screen. Well, Major Micah Polo, the name sounds the name sounds Western, right? Well, Major Micah Polo is of Ishekiri origin. You know, some Nigerians are usually privileged to join the US military, the UK military, the Russia military. Well, Major Micah Polo is one of them. Now, Major Micah Polo joined the UK military according to the statement that was released by the British High Commission in Nigeria. The British High Commission stated that Major Micah Polo joined the UK military and he was part of the reserve team of the UK military. And the British High Commission stated that he was a non-commissioned officer. That means that he was more like what we call a rank and file, like a low cadre military officer in the UK. And the United Kingdom government says that Major Micah Polo is no longer serving in the UK military, but they confirmed that he served in the UK military, but he has been discharged. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting, because Major Micah Polo is reportedly one of the friends of the Olu of Wari, and the DSS is kind of like investigating what could be the connection of the Olu of Wari in this instance. Is the Olu of Wari, does it knows about the importation of these cache of arms and ammunition in the Niger Delta? By the way, what are the arms and ammunition that they recovered from the syndicate of Major Micah Polo? According to reports, they recovered 57 AK-47 rifles, 57 pieces of AK-47. They recovered 6 pump action and also over 3,000 rounds of ammunitions. Now, 57 AK-47 rifles, 6 pump action, and over 3,000 rounds of ammunition. Don't forget that all you need to fall flat like a mango tree is just one bullet. So imagine the kind of atrocities that over 3,000 over 3,000 rounds of ammunition can do, with the kind of like havoc that it can wreak in a society. So you may want to just imagine it for a moment and let us look at something. What could be the source of these arms? Because these arms and ammunition, where did it come from? Because the Nigerian government have not been clear about the source. The UK government said that they can't release any other information based on their privacy policy, and they are kind of like conservative with the information. So the big question is that is this arms and ammunition, was it from the UK? Because I think there are some numbers, there are some code names that are usually on arms and ammunition that you can use to trace their country of origin. So the big question is that, is it from the UK government? Is the UK government interested in what is going on in Nigeria, if it is from the UK authorities? Or how was Major Micah Polo able to smuggle those kind of arms and ammunition away from the UK, if it is from the UK origin? Because you may want to look at it, 57 AK-47 is a large figure. So was it exported from the UK? If it was exported from the UK, then that calls to question the security architecture of the UK, because the UK prides itself high in security. And some of these European nations, they usually have something that even if you smuggle somebody, if you want to smuggle somebody at the back of your truck illegally into an European country, they have a sensor that once they put that sensor will detect whether there is an human being in that particular luggage. So if they can go that far in terms of technology, then it would be an indictment on the part of the UK if these arms and ammunitions were from the UK. But the good thing is that Micah Polo was arrested in Lagos. You see, when the DSS kind of like got wind of that information and they laid ambush for the syndicate and they were able to intercept them. Now, Micah Polo was in Lagos. He was trying to board a flight to the United Kingdom, but the DSS quickly did their networking and they were able to apprehend Micah Polo. So right now, Micah Polo is in the DSS custody, and according to reports from credible media, there has been pressure on the DSS by the Delta State government led by Sheriff Oboriwori, the governor, that Major Micah Polo should be released. And that calls into question the loyalty of the Nigerian leadership, because if somebody is found to be the leader of a syndicate of 57 AK-47 rifles, 6 pump action, and over 3,000 rounds of ammunition, and you are putting pressure on such a person to be released, to be released by the DSS, you may want to ask yourself that, what is your interest? Is it Micah Polo or that of the Nigerian people? But now that the Delta State Governor, Sheriff Oboriwori, has defected to the All Progressive Congress, I hope that there won't be a kind of political solution to this case, because just imagine that those arms and ammunition has found their way into the desired location, or it has found their way into the black market. Imagine the end consequence of it in terms of national insecurity. So what would be the objective of Major Micah Polo? Don't forget that recently there was a kind of like issue as regards the Supreme Court judgment, as regards polling units. It was about politics. The Supreme Court gave that judgment in December 2022, and INEC is trying to enforce that judgment, and that has led to some kind of ethnic tension between the Shekiri and the Jos and the Urobo. So is this weapon for the tribal tension? If it is not, then what could it be for? Perhaps for oil bunkering. You know, oil bunkering is a lucrative business in the Niger Delta, and I told you before that I have done a scientific research in that particular region before. So could it be for oil bunkering? Could it be that they are trying to be an oil bunkering syndicate? We can't rule out political purposes anyway. Could it be for political purpose? Because it is of public knowledge that some politicians usually arm political talks during election. Could it be for kind of like other social vices like kidnapping, armed robbery? What could this weapon be for? A weapon that the DSS is not aware about, the police is not aware about. It took the effort of the DSS to intercept the transfer from one location to another. So could it be for a social vices, or could it be that Major Micah Polo is just interested in gun running? Or could it be that Major Micah Polo is a syndicate and there is other accomplices located in other parts of Nigeria? Could there be a kind of like coup plot? Could there be a kind of like attempt to bring down the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in all of this? Is there a UK hand in all of this? So these are the questions that the DSS owes the Nigerian people, because if you look at it, the number of illegal arms in Nigeria is alarming. The number of illegal arms in Nigeria, in fact, it is safe to assert that the number of illegal arms in Nigeria may be more than that in the hands of the security operative. Because if you look at the ones in the hands of the Boko Haram, the bandits, the ISWAP, the ISIS, West Africa, if you look at it, the kidnapper, the armed robber, just look at the cultists, then it may be safe to assert that if care is not taken, the illegal arms and ammunition may even be more than the legal ones in Nigeria. And Polo's case is just one out of many. The case of Major Polo is just one out of many, because if you look at it, you can imagine how many people are trying to import arms and ammunition illegally into Nigeria. So you may want to ask yourself that if it is one of the case, if it is just one of the many cases, how about the ones that are successful, that the arms have entered Nigeria, that the arms have been transported to their desired location, and those arms and ammunition are currently wreaking havoc to the Nigerian society, currently giving the government and the people of Nigeria a lot of headache. So one thing that bothers my mind in all of this is that, why do everything bad finds its way into Nigeria? In the sense that you will recall that there was a time that they said the arms and ammunition that was left over during the ousting of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya, that some of them, majority of them, found their way to Nigeria. So why is it that anything bad usually finds its way quick into Nigeria. The murderous herdsmen that were operating in other West African countries, they find their way into Nigeria, and now they are wreaking havoc. The bandits, there is some political dimensions to that. They found their way into Nigeria. They made Nigeria their safe haven. There's the Lakurawa, there's the Boko Haram, there's the ISIS, there's the ISWAP. Anything bad. Why is it that Nigeria is always their choice location? And that is why I said that the Polo case, the case of Major Micah Polo, is just one of the many cases that we have in Nigeria. And what I can say is that the arms and ammunition will not operate itself. The arms and ammunitions will not operate itself. There must be a living human being that is willing to use them. And that's why the government of Nigeria needs to urgently create SOCOM for the Nigerian people. Let there be jobs. Let there be employment. Let there be infrastructure. Let there be amenities for the people. Let Nigerians live a meaningful life so that there will be less people that are willing to go into crime. You can see the way Boko Haram are recruiting effortlessly in the North State and Northwest. So that is why the government must tackle this thing holistically by trying to create SOCOM. And in all of this, we don't want to hear a political solution. By the way, I also want to see a situation whereby the politicians will be able to kind of like focus on the job, and perhaps we should start thinking of reducing the premium of politics so that when politics is less attractive, you don't need to go and buy arms and ammunition or import gun, or say you want to win the election by force. And also, in this case, we want thorough investigation and speedy trial. We don't want a political solution to this because it pertains to the lives of Nigerians and the security of lives and property. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with Dr. Omoshola. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos. I have great interesting video coming your way. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.